Okay, you guys, remember that last time we created a surface from three different things. The surface was based on a point group, I believe it was 6 break lines, and a boundary. Now, today, what I want to concentrate on is adding some labels to our surface. So remember, if we expand over here in our tool space area, if we expand surfaces by hitting that little plus sign, we've got this surface called existing ground. It's already been created. What I'd like to do is just take a second. So here it is right here. And let's just do this. Let's right click on existing ground and let's go to surface properties. I really just want to look at one thing. Oh, by the way, I can remember that I told you that this surface is created from a lot of triangles, and those triangles are called a tin, T-I-N. And so I'm going to just click on contours and triangles, and there you can see the tin triangles that Autodesk or Civil 3D created to generate this surface. Now, I don't want to see those all the time, and they're kind of interesting if you want to dive in here and look at them. One thing you'll notice is that, for example, here's a triangle right here that was created by Civil 3D right here, this long skinny one, and you'll notice that all the contours that pass through that triangle are parallel to each other. And that's because that triangle is a plane surface. So I don't really want to see all those triangles right now, but let's go back to where we were. I right-click on existing ground surface properties, and I'll go back to my 1 and 5 background contours. Okay, so now what I just want to do today is I want to label my surface. So let's go to first of all, I guess let's make sure that down here, down here, let's make sure that this scale, let's set that to 1 inch equals 40 right now. So if I click on that, I'm going to set it to 1 inch equals 40. Now, for some reason, all those points turned on. I'm not sure why, but I can get rid of those. I can right-click on point groups, go to properties. I'm going to take my no display or all points off. I forget what we called it, but I'm going to push that to the top of the list, and that's going to turn all those points off. Now, all I want to do today is add some labels. So I'm going to say add labels. Notice that the first one here is surface. So we're going to choose surface, and then we're going to come over, we're going to choose contour single. I want to do these individually. So I choose contour single, and let's just label our index contours right now. So if I click on this contour right here, you can see that's 605. Of course, this is 606, 607, 608, 609. This should be 610, 615. Let's just label our index contours right now, 620, 625, and 630. Okay, and you can label them in more than one place if you want. Sometimes that's helpful. I can also label these individual ones here. I mean the ones in between the index contours, and you see how that works. Okay, there is another way to label contours, which is, let's see here, surface. Contour multiple allows me to just draw a line, and then it labels them all along that line. I don't usually like that. I don't like the line that it puts in here, so I usually do them individually. The other thing I wanted to talk about is labeling slopes. So if I go to add labels, surface, and slope, now I have two choices. I can choose a 1 point or 2 point. If I choose 1 point, it's just going to label the slope at the point that I chose. If I choose 2 points, it's going to give me the slope between those 2 points. Now, I don't really like the 2-point option because I could choose a point here and a point here, and it wouldn't be very meaningful. So let's choose 1 point. And I'm going to come over here, let's say up in the top of this high elevation portion of this, and if I click a spot there, it tells me that that is a 7.9% slope. Now just remember that what that means is if I have a horizontal distance of 100 feet, that this slope is 7.9 feet of drop across there. It's hard to draw, but so that slope is 7.9%. If I click in an area where the contours are a little closer together, you can see here it's 17.3% near the roundabout, so quite a bit steeper. So I'd like you to label probably all of the contours, and I'd like you to label, say, half a dozen slopes all around the parcel. Okay? And then the last thing I wanted to talk about today is adding spot elevation labels. So we have a spot elevation option here, and if I choose, let's say, way up here at the north, I don't know, the southwest portion of the project, that elevation is 631.44. If I want to know what's the bottom of that hole, it's 620.36. Just outside the hole, it's 622. So that hole is a little over 2 feet deep. And so I'd like you to label a handful of spot elevations as well. Okay, that's it for labeling contours, slopes, and spot elevations.